to Motherhood Unscripted, the podcast that shares the unspoken changes that affects a woman after she becomes a mother. This podcast not only sheds light on the complexities of raising children, but also gives solutions that make them feel empowered, gets to talk about the honest and raw truths in motherhood. It also advocates for mental well-being of moms and also builds a community that connects mothers together. Let's walk together as we unlearn what society has taught us and learn who we are meant to be as women and mothers. Let's take this journey together. Welcome. Hi everyone, welcome to yet another episode of Motherhood Unscripted. I am your host Gladys Kangau, and before we start this episode, I want you to like, share and comment on these videos because they give us a wider audience, they give us feedback, and we are able to bring more and more of these wonderful and educative episodes for women and for mothers who are going through matrescence or who are going through the transition into motherhood and need answers to what they go through after becoming a mother. So feel free to like, share and comment, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram under Motherhood Unscripted. So without wasting any time, let us dive right in. Welcome. So in today's episode, we are flipping the script. We have talked about the identity shift, the silence, the invisible load. But now it's time to talk about the power that lives on the other side of matrescence. Because when we embrace who we are, so we have talked about the identity shift, the silence, the invisible load. But now it's time to talk about the power that lives on the other side of matrescence. Because when we embrace who we are becoming, we don't just survive motherhood, we rise in it. This episode is called From Matrescence to Power, Reclaiming Your Voice as a Mother. So I'm hoping you're going to enjoy this video. So let's start by calling out a myth that keeps so many of us small. That's the good mother. The good mother is selfless, is quiet, is grateful, and puts herself last. I'm sure you've heard phrases like this. A mother's love is sacrifice. You know what you signed up for. Mothers just do what needs to be done. But here is the truth, guys. A mother who is constantly depleted cannot raise empowered children. And I'm going to repeat that again. A mother who is constantly depleted cannot raise empowered children. We don't need more selfless mothers. We need more whole ones. Okay? So again, let me repeat. We do not need more selfless mothers. We need more whole ones. And claiming your voice doesn't make you selfish. It makes you human. So what if I told you matrescence isn't a breakdown, but a breakthrough? Yes, it's messy. Yes, it is painful. But it's also an awakening. So through matrescence, you begin to question things you once accepted, speak up about things you once tolerated, dream new dreams, or revive old ones. Yeah? So this is really, really a good place to start once you have learned about matrescence. Motherhood forces you to stretch, but in that stretch, there is growth. You become more and not less. As one of my favorite mentors, who is called Dr. Sophie Brock, says, matrescence is a feminist issue because when mothers wake up to their own worth, they begin to challenge the systems that keep them small. So, as I was saying, There are some things that as mothers we have learned to tolerate. There are some dreams that we felt that like they are no longer part of us because we are mothers now. But once we have that awakening, once we get to learn that matrescence is a spiritual awakening, it is an awakening, you get to see life in a different lens. We get to challenge some of the things that we have been passed on. And we get to see that we can empower ourselves and become even better, not only for ourselves, but also for our children. So some of these things as mothers, we have, when you feel defeated, when you feel like, I can't be able to do this because I am a mother now. I can't live life a certain way because people will see me differently. But what if I told you that you can see it just the same? Just because you're a mother does not mean you cannot do some of the things that you used to love before. You can revive an old hobby. Maybe back in the day you used to love dancing, you used to love singing. You can go back to your old hobby. You used to love hiking. There are so many things that as mothers we feel like we cannot continue doing because of being a mother. But you can be able to see it in a different way. There are so many things maybe we are told you cannot talk about. You have to be small. You have to, not question authority. You are supposed to always be that selfless. But I have learned this from even my own personal experience, that especially now being a mother, because I also want to empower my children. I also want my children to speak up for themselves. I want my children also to see life in a different way, not just what we have been taught. And becoming a mother really, really helped me see that in a very profound way. And that is the reason why I wanted to share this wonderful topic, because we can empower one another. We can empower each other to see it in a different way and also grow and also become that mother that you wanted to be. Not what you are told you're supposed to be, but to choose for yourself that woman, that mother that you want to be. And that for me is really, really empowering. Once you get to understand about matrescence, once you get to understand that this awakening, this profound thing that changes us, can change even the entire world. We are able to even question the policymakers and understand why is being a caregiver not valued. Even from in a small way, even from where you are at your work, you'll be able to see things differently, in a different lens. So that is why I can say that matrescence really, really transforms people once they are able to take a deep dive. So let's talk about owning your story. Your story matters, your voice matters, even if it's trembling, even if it is tired. When you're telling it the truth about rage, the joy, the guilt, you give other women permission to do the same. Maybe your voice comes out in a blog, a business, a book, bedtime stories. Maybe it shows up in how you advocate at the clinic. Yeah? I know you can relate. How you show up for your community. The point is, ladies and mothers, motherhood doesn't have to silence you. It can sharpen your voice. Mm-hmm. However small it is, you can reclaim it. So Reclaiming your voice doesn't mean a huge life overhaul. It can start small. Yeah. Like saying no without guilt, resting without explanation, sharing how you feel with a friend, asking for help, choosing joy without apology. These are acts of rebellion in a culture that tells moms to be quiet and grateful. And remember this. Remember this. Your children do not need a perfect mother. They need a mom who knows her worth. Okay? I will repeat that again. Your children do not need a perfect mother. They need a mom who knows her worth. So to the mama who feels like she's lost herself, this is your invitation to rise. Not just for your children, but for you. You are allowed to take up space. You are allowed to use your voice. You are allowed to evolve and rise again. So if this episode stirred something inside of you, please share it with a mama that is near you, because I am sure there is a mama who needs to hear it. And if you want more, please follow me on Motherhood_Unscripted on Instagram. And I want to remind you, you're not just becoming a mother. You are becoming powerful. So thank you for listening to this wonderful episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. And if you have, remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share it. Until the next time, thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.